छाया आसमान, देखो झूमता गगन, हे छाया आसमान, देखो झूमता गगन, ज़मीन आसमान झुक गया, झूमता गगन, मेरे झूम ले जहां, ये कैसा नशा प्यार का समा, वही समा झूमे आसमान, होश तो खोले प्यार तू ले ले संग मेरे झूम जा, कैसा नशा होश है कहाँ, होश तो खोले प्यार तू ले ले संग मेरे झूम जा.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Are we live? Is there anybody out there? It is Saturday night. How is everybody doing? It's Saturday, March 29th. We gotta finish burning our sage and cedar and all that good stuff before we get going here. The kitty cats were just in the room tag teaming me. But once I start burning stuff, they're like, okay, we gotta go. But you know, every 3 minutes they want me to open the door. And I'm not alone in the house, so I have to have the door closed. How is everybody doing? How was your Saturday? How was your weather? We had rainy, but it was nice. We need the rain, and it wasn't crazy tornado, tragic, high, crazy ass winds. So I was like, yes. It was all gray, but it was nice temperature. So I'm like, I'll take it. All right, so let's start off with, can you hear me? Where's the damn chat at? Hey, I see some people. Someone showed up. I was just thinking, the way things have been going, it's probably going to be a dead night for me. I don't know. With technology and stuff, it's just been really crazy. And I really didn't start editing till recently. And I had no problems editing. That was the weird thing. The editing stuff wasn't a problem other than my eyes, of course. But I took a good break. And so, big improvement. All right, so Christy's here. Okay, I don't know what's going on. StreamYard made more changes every time I come back. Yeah, there's different changes on it. Oh, there that went. I was wondering where the hell that was. I'm like, how did it walk away? It was stuck to the bottom of my shirt. All right, well, we're going to burn a little bit of that. Okay, now I'm in the groove, man. Okay, so Christy's here. Christy, how the hell are you doing? Stacy's here. It's the Star Room. Yes. And it's pretty fascinating energy we're in right now. We have Venus, who's going to have a rebirth. Venus goes from kind of sort of invisible and burnt up and Kazemi and all that good stuff to she's going to be free and clear by Tuesday. Yeah, so we'll have a birth of Venus, but it's kind of tricky. Yeah, it's kind of tricky. Birth of Venus will happen in Pisces. Yeah, happens in Pisces. So we shall see how that works out. We will see how that works out. Stacy, how the heck are you doing? I think I see how you're doing. Christy says tap tap. Is this thing on? No, actually it wasn't. I'm glad you asked that because I'm like, why aren't we live yet? I thought the damn thing had already. Anyway, you have to hit like multiple things to confirm you're going live. Yeah. Yeah. So you sprained a muscle in your right hip, waiting to hear if I'm getting the okay to move to a new apartment. So you're in a rush to get out or something all of a sudden? Why? I mean, I know you've been talking about it, but I'm just curious. You said you're anxious and I mean, do you need to move? All right, Christy said, I am not passing. Dragon Queen, what's going on with Dragon Queen? Hello, Dragon Queen. Do we know you by another name? Because I don't recognize that name, which is fine. But for anybody who's new here, or even if you're old, I can't pull up your chart if I don't know the name it's under. That's just basic common sense. Sometimes people show up with different names every time they come, and it's like, dude, yeah. Save the mind reading for the damn astrology reading. I ain't doing any of that prior. So get it all lined up and get your P's and Q's and everything in a row. Because I struggle as it is. All right. So Dragon Queen, Christy, Stacy. All right, we got a short list tonight, I think. John D is here. What's going on, John D? All right, dealing with fires. Oh, Lord. God, that's just crazy. Not good. We don't want fires. I mean, I was at a doctor's office the other day, and I was just saying, like, it's just, you guys have heard me say this, it's just drier. It's just drier. I'm in the Midwest. It's usually green and lush. It's just drier. Shit is just drier. It's been that way for the last 3 years. Significantly, we have rain and then it's humid. And normally we would have hot and sticky, humid summers. Like that was just so totally normal. And that hasn't been this way for 3 summers now. Well, this will be the 4th. Even spring, like when we have the rain, within like as soon as that rain's over, a couple hours later, it dries back up like I'm in California. It's like, call it whatever the hell you want. Shit has changed. That's for sure. Not in a good way. Okay, so Eek, I might be signing a lease next week. Okay, that's a good thing if that's what you're looking for. Oh, okay. So, yeah, but why are you leaving to begin with, Stacy? I wasn't really sure about that. I know you've been talking about moving for a while. I mean, you had concerns about the dog. I was just curious, like if there was or it was you just need a new change of scenery. That could be it too. All right, so if you want to get a reading, you have to get in the queue. You have to be in the queue because I do the readings according to how you appear in the queue. First come, first serve. Lots of folks who are in the queue, although there's not a lot of folks here right now, but there may be a lot of names in the queue. Some people just get in the queue, get in the chat because they want to have a conversation. They want to talk. They want to chat. They know other people that are here. There's regulars. A lot of times people pass. And if they pass, it goes to the next person in line. So sometimes that queue can move fast. If people want me to spend more time on their chart, I do that for people who send gifts to the channel. Cash App and PayPal are down below. I'm sorry, Cash App and Venmo are down below. Yeah. So you can get your digits to me, birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. You can send them through the email. It is best that I have your chart and all those digits. It's better that I have it before the show begins. You know what I'm saying? Like if I have your chart already drawn out. That way everybody else isn't waiting for me to get your chart into the damn thing and for me to get my digits and to know my spelling and double check this, double check that. Yeah. So, wild changes, wildfire. I think you mentioned wildfires or fires, or maybe I read it wrong. Dealing with fires, love to see some rain. That's what I understood, John. Maybe you meant something else by that. Absolutely, changes are constant. Did I mention wild changes? You did now. She's looking for a better apartment, a better environment. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Everybody wants to have their chart looked at tonight. Well, let's see. It's a nice slow night. Well, then we'll see. Sometimes we start slow, sometimes we don't. I think some people are like, I'll come by an hour later. Maybe some people are like, hell no. I got other things to do tonight. Oh, fires and smoke. Damn. Yeah, you're in where the heck are you? You know what? Are you and Christy? You and Christy might be in similar areas. Christy's in West Virginia. And Christy, you're like on the west coast of West Virginia. Western North Carolina. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. The Appalachia areas. Okay, let me get on the ball. Let me get this thing going here. They move some things. So Christy, you're up first. Stacy has a list. Not many of us here, but okay, where's that? The list disappeared already. It's a small one. That's why I couldn't find it. That's the current list. If your name is on that list and if you don't want to go, or if I don't have your digits, please say pass in the chat. And, oh God, yeah, that earthquake, yeah. Freaky shit. It's huge, right? 53 and sunshine in Alaska. Yeah, we had like, man, yesterday, holy crap, yesterday we were like about at 80 degrees. Yeah, it was like, whoa, 80, okay. Today is in the 60s, so it was still lovely. And there was no insane wind. That was the main thing. All right, let me get rolling here. There you go, Stacy. I never tell people to like the live, but I would assume that if you're here watching, please send the link, talkie. Anyway, yeah, the likes help. It helps the algorithm know that I'm doing something that people like. And that's the YouTube thing, because that's where we're at, YouTube. And I am, remind me, well, maybe I'll just say it now instead of messing around. I'm thinking of taking the Starry Night Lives, leaving them on Saturday nights. And I'm in my mind, the plan is that out of the 4 Saturdays in a month, roughly, right? I'll take one of those Saturdays and do a private live, which means that only 3 Saturdays out of the month will be here on YouTube. You follow? To be involved in the private live, you would definitely have to, it's limited seats for the private lives. It'll be limited seating. And it'll have a chat. It'll be just like this, but it won't be on YouTube. It'll ultimately be quite private. You follow? So we can go super deep, real. But all that would have to be arranged in advance. And meaning names, I'd have to have the chart information in advance, like all that. There'd be none of this spontaneous stuff like we do on YouTube. All right, so that's the current plan for right now. Let me know what you guys think about that. I know I mentioned this over a year ago, and it just never took off. I just never was able to get, I don't know, I guess I wasn't thinking clearly. I guess I was thinking I would just add on another day of the week that I was going to do a live stream. But for whatever reason, in the last couple of weeks, just was super strong. Like, no, you're just going to take one night, one of them Saturdays, and you're going to do a private lives. I'm like, oh, okay. That's a great idea. Why the hell didn't I think of that? All right. So with that said, yeah, pay to play. There you go. To get involved in the private lives, yeah, you have to reserve your spot. You have to send I haven't come up with a number. I haven't done any of that part of it. Whether it's, I just thought I would talk to people in the chat first, see what you guys think, get other people's feedback too who aren't here, and see how you guys respond and what do you think would be fair? I just kind of want to bounce that around and see how we go from there. So let's get to work. Let me get this link because it's moved how I do it. Invite guest. How about I just grab this invite? Because I'm not sure what they want me to do with that shit. They created a whole nother thing. Let me just, okay, so it's all the same. It's just two ways to do something. All right, here you go, Christy. This link is for you. The talkie. Dragon Queen, where are you watching from? Are you, what did it say in the chat? I think it said that you are Francesca. Okay, so Christy's here and she's ready to roll. All right, Christy's ready to roll. Let's get her in here. Hello.
How are you?
Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, we got you.
Okay.
We got you. How the heck are you doing?
I'm all right. I have to reconcile. I cannot reconcile something in my mind.
Yeah.
It's something that's happened this week. Now, you do what you need to do, but let me tell my story, and then you can figure it out. Okay.
All right. Tell me the story.
All right. I just can't reconcile it. I'm hurt, angry, pissed, all that, all rolled into one. And I'm in amongst friends, so I can say this.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. And we know we're not one of the people you're pissed with. So
right.
Makes all the difference in the world.
Right. Okay. So, back in February and March, we didn't have water for like 17 days. Right.
Yeah.
And our power went off no less than 6 hours 4 times. The one time it went off right after the live for 18 hours. Okay. I hauled water from where I work here for 17 days. I can take a shower in a 4-gallon bucket. I can wash my hair and condition it and wash everything in 4 gallons of water. So it was a trying month.
Hell yeah.
Now, the residents where I live, because I work in a federally assisted low-income elderly community. Yeah. I made sure that they were all taken care of. They had this is where it's going to get.
What is it? You in this place, y'all go through these tragedies together, huh?
Right. So, it's a congregate meal site. So I have partnered with a community service that Monday through Friday, they do a congregate meal site for these residents.
Okay.
The National Guard came in twice and gave them 2 cases of bottled water each. We delivered them to everybody's door. So all my residents got water. They were only
good.
They were only without water for maybe a day or 2, but the bottom floor, it's an 8-story building. The bottom floor always had running water.
Wow.
It didn't have enough pressure to push it through to the 8th floor. Gotcha. The electric was ever only out for 30 seconds from when it switched from regular power to our generator.
Okay.
So they were only out for 30 seconds. Okay, so I made sure that they were comfortable while I'm still hauling water. Do you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
We get this thing on Wednesday, or these people come by from the West Virginia Human Services, and they come by with this thing. If it says, if you were affected by the flood, loss of power for more than 4 hours, loss of income, I never missed a day of work.
Mm-hmm.
So, have unreimbursed disaster-related expenses, lost water during 12/15/25 to 3/16/25. Please come see us at DOHS. And they said, you don't have to be, it's for everybody.
Yeah.
So I go down and I've got all my proof, you know. And they said, you didn't lose enough and you make too much money. I'm sitting here at this point. Well, during this month, we were considering, and we're going to do this, is we're building an outhouse.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, I remember you saying that.
I mean, I know it sounds funny. We live in
No,
America.
absolutely not.
But I'm also 50 years old.
Yeah,
And for 17 days, I'm hauling 15 gallons of water just to flush a toilet.
absolutely.
And 4 gallons to take a bath with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
had to
no,
eat
I
out
think it's a
every
great
day.
idea.
We had to eat out every day. You know,
Yeah.
this cost us some money.
Absolutely.
And they said, well, I had $75 in my savings account. And I'm not going to lie to the government. There's no reason to lie.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I have $75 in my savings account.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, you have too much in savings.
What?
Well, I had just got paid 4 days before. Do you know what I mean? So I had to tell them how much was in my bank account, but I had just got paid.
Exactly.
So that had nothing to do with nothing. Do you know what I mean? And they said we made too much money. Okay. So I kind of threw a fit, but they went down to my residence and they told them, come here and come to DHOS and we'll sign you up. None of them lost one drop of water, 30 seconds of electric, or anything. They got $290 in food stamps. Didn't lose anything. It was just an inconvenience, a little blip. And they all saw me hauling water. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I completely know what you mean. I mean,
and I'm kind of upset. But
I would be too.
They went there and they did it. Then the next day, you
supplied yourself with the water.
Yes, and not one drop of that water.
Yeah.
From the National Guard came to my house. Not one time did the National Guard come to my house. Do you know what I mean? I just can't reconcile this, and I'm pissed.
Well, I don't blame you for being pissed. I really don't.
And
I do not blame you.
These residents are coming to me and want me to fax this piece of paper that says on it,
right,
the same thing I told you, that they lost this stuff, and it says perjury. I am not. You could be. You'd have to pay it back or imprisonment if you sign this and make a false claim. They did not lose anything, and they're signing this and wanting me to fax it. And I told them, no, I am not doing it. I said, because you didn't lose anything, and it's perjury. And I'm not going to be an accessory to it. Was I wrong?
I don't know. It sounds like it, especially since you knew what well, I probably wouldn't want to be involved in it either. Is really probably the better way. I don't think it's a wrong or a right, but I wouldn't want to. I'd have to take myself out of the situation. Well, which is what it sounds like you did. You were like, well, I can't be the one to send this through. You got to come back and ask my boss. Have them do it.
I'm the only one there. I'm the only one there. But the residents that went there, I've got 88 of them. At least 50 went. At least 50 went.
Wow.
And then 20 of them come up to me the next day wanting me to fax it. And I said, you understand what perjury means? I said, because I am your landlord. You did not lose anything. Not one complaint did anybody say I lost food. Yeah.
Yep. I understand. You can't take the fall for somebody. I get it. And honestly, you'd be the one they'd come after, as opposed to the seniors. I'm all this Pisces shit. I'm
not saying that I wanted something for nothing.
Oh, no. I'm not saying you did either.
And I'm not saying that I just, when they bring this to you and say, were you affected?
I agree. I agree. I totally agree. Somebody waved a carrot in front of your face and then took it away and said, you don't qualify. You don't look hungry enough. I totally
agree. You didn't lose enough.
You didn't
You
lose
didn't
enough.
lose enough.
I
Is
agree.
what they told me. And then these residents that didn't lose anything
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
run up there and get that. And I
Yeah.
just don't. If you're in a federal disaster area, it shouldn't
Exactly.
matter.
You're right. I agree. You're absolutely right.
So
You're right.
how can I reconcile this in my head? I even contacted the governor's office during the crisis,
Good.
and they told me, "Oh,
Who's your representative? That's who you need to start making phone calls to. Your state representative, your senator, your House member. You need to get in touch with them. Call their office.
But like during the whole thing with the month that we were, the 17 days we were without water, I think was day 8. I contacted the governor's office because everybody around us had water. We didn't. And they said, "Oh, no, you contact Consumer Public Works or something like that." So they didn't even give a shit.
I was just that's what I'm saying. It sounds like it's been kicked down the road, and you're supposed to then call your representative.
Yeah, it's just
because now it's a done deal. Now they're telling you, no, you're not qualified for any reimbursements of any kind.
right. And everybody, and people that didn't lose a drop.
Right. Right.
That it just, oh, and I gave up a Saturday to help the National Guard deliver water. I don't get paid for that.
Wow. Yeah, I could understand. I could totally understand.
And like during COVID, I had 2 truckloads of food go to these residents. Not one morsel came to my house.
Right.
I just cannot reconcile this in my brain. I just can't. I can't. My husband don't want to hear about it anymore.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he's like, it happened.
It's over. It's done with.
Over. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for you, again, call your representative, and you can call them as many times in a day as you want, because they're not going to be the one that answers the phone.
Right.
You follow?
Yeah.
But if you call enough, I'm pretty sure you're probably not the only one either.
Right.
How can you be the only one that this has happened to?
Well, after they get this $290 in food stamps that they just lied about to get.
Yeah.
This produce place, here, this gets me too. This produce place is going out of business. So they brought all their produce over to these residents. So they all line up, elbows and walkers and all this other stuff, beating lines to get this free produce, which I'm not begrudging them.
Right.
To turn around to go get a free meal. And they just got $290 in food stamps.
Well, you know what's I don't know. I mean, when people are, I don't know. I can't imagine people taking food that they can't eat or that they're not going to eat or that's going to be garbage. We're talking about people needing food.
I'm not saying I need it.
No. I know what you're saying. And in my perspective is I see it as, wow, people are extremely needy, not greedy, but needy. And I wish I could say it's going to get better. I mean, I'm just being real. I mean, the change, I mean, and I don't know how it all works exactly where you're located, but I mean, yeah, you said it was the state that came in, the National Guard. But it would have been federal money that supplied the supplies.
Right.
I'm assuming that's usually a disaster. But anyway, it's, all that's changing, I mean, people complained that the system didn't work before. Well, all these systems are going to absolutely, they've been defunded for a reason. They're being defunded for a reason. And that's so that they absolutely break. So where people are like, oh, hell no, I'm pissed and this shit is bad. And anything is better than this. And that's where they want to get us.
Well, anything is better than this.
See, that's where they want you to be. It's where they
It
want all of
is.
us to feel that anything would be better than this.
Yeah, because this is
Well, you
wrong.
have to really think before you say that, though.
Well, this is wrong. This is
It
people
is. It is wrong. It is wrong.
that didn't get a. They got blipped. It was a
It is
blip.
wrong, but at the same time, there's also been all these departments that have people who are gone, who would be there to check and double check and to check through the details and the paperwork to see where the funds are going. Is it being properly? The people who are getting it, are they actually receiving it? You
No,
know,
they're giving it to people that don't need it.
I don't think that
and
matters
they're
to them, though.
forcing
Right
them to
now,
lie. They're
right now, I
forcing
don't
them
think
to
that
lie.
matters. I guess what I'm saying is when you take a department and you rip away its workers
Mm-hmm.
so that the department is super short staffed,
Mm-hmm.
nothing's going to work right. It's
I
going to
don't
go
think
to those who may not need it. Absolutely. And it's going
Well,
to get people pissed. That's right.
well, I wouldn't have qualified under any other. I still wouldn't have qualified 4 years ago or 3 years ago.
Well, I guess the
I didn't
difference,
qualify through during COVID.
but just, well, something there within your locality doesn't make any damn sense.
Well,
Your
for-
water company isn't going to have a bill to send you because they weren't supplying you water, correct?
Oh, they sent me a bill.
For the
got a
time that you
Yes.
had no water?
Yes, I got a $28 bill. And the power company sent me a bill that we didn't have electric for 18 hours. I got a 23 kilowatt charge on that, 23 hour kilowatt on that one.
So your
So I'm getting
government,
screwed all the way around.
your utility companies, all the way around. You've been you feel like you've been shafted, like you've just been completely done wrong. And it sounds like you were.
I think I am. I mean,
how
what would you say?
well, something definitely doesn't sound right. I can say that much.
So what did it look like on my chart on Wednesday? About 4 o'clock.
So Wednesday of this week.
Yes, that's when all this went down. It must have been some kind of energy that was flowing. Like
Well,
I'm getting something and not kissed.
okay, so the moon was in your fourth house. So that's emotions.
Oh yeah, because I was pissed. I said,
Well, first the moon would have been in Aquarius, but it was in the latter degrees of Aquarius.
I said, we live in a third world country here in Logan County.
Well,
I'm digging a freaking outhouse.
yeah.
Oh, every utility during that time. No, yeah. Every utility during that time, including cell phones and internet, has been out at least once.
So the sun was supposed, your sun is 29 in Leo. And so the moon was like at 28, 29 degrees of Aquarius. It was in that exact opposition. Let me see what this Mercury was doing with you that day too. So we got Mercury. Well, it definitely was in fire, definitely was in Aries. And Venus was at 0 degrees of Aries. And both retrograding too, so intense. Yeah. Let me see here.
Government. What house would that be?
Well, your Mercury's up there at 4 degrees at your midheaven.
Yeah.
You see that's your natal Mercury. So the sun was at 6 down here, and the Mercury was here, Sun, an authority figure. See, the Mercury is really important because where you work, you have like neighbors. You have all these tenants.
Right.
You follow? So you're all in this community.
Mm-hmm.
So that's some moon energy, and it's some Mercury energy, peers, tenants, neighbors, okay, co-workers even. Contracts, paperwork, you know, Mercury, Libra energy too, for that matter. And yeah, you know, Uranus is sitting at 24 over there. But the Sun and Mercury would have been angling your midheaven and your Mercury. It's a quincunx, so it's irritation, agitation, you know, you want in danger.
Hold on.
But that's not all. Wait a minute. Look, here's the big
there's
deal.
more.
There is, because look at Pluto here. You have Pluto in Aquarius down here at 3 degrees. Well, what's Christie's midheaven? 3 degrees. And your Mercury's at 4. So this Pluto is a quincunx to your midheaven and your Mercury, and this Mercury and this Sun were quincunxing. So in other words, quincunxes on two sides of a chart, it creates what they call a finger of God. Okay. Believe it or not. So this Mercury and Pluto are part of the finger of God. And you know, Virgo at the midheaven, so that's your work, your duty, your responsibilities, the details, cleaning, cleanliness. You talked about water, you talked about bathrooms, you talked about, you know, you talked about working your ass off, burning the candle at both ends, really.
Yeah.
And so at the opposite end of this would be your emotions. It was the pinnacle of the finger of God was your Pisces energy of sacrifice.
Yeah, because I sacrificed for them.
Yeah. And that's exactly what got triggered. It was sacrifice. Pisces energy, 3 degrees. And that's your finger of God. And so what I can do so that we know where everything was.
The thought process is I've tried to think, okay, there's a reason for this. There's a reason this is going on. Maybe some karmic debt was being paid.
Well,
by me.
Pisces, most people will, you know, any astrologer would look at Pisces and say, oh, there's your karma.
Well,
the first thing that would come out of their mouth, there's your karma.
Well, then I was paying some debt back, I guess. Or it's I'll be rewarded better than what they got by something else.
That's definitely a possibility. But also, you know, the karma thing, which is, you know, because it's location, because it's where you live, you follow? Yeah. This isn't going to change a whole lot. Meaning there's something about that fourth house and the siblings, the coworkers, the neighbors, 3 degrees, and the sacrifice and service that would exist wherever you live, but it probably would change a little bit depending on the astrocartography, right? But it's just here in your chart. And because Pluto, and look, Pluto was sitting right here, but look what you have at 3 and 4 degrees. Pissed off Black Moon Lilith in a retrograde. You see that?
Yes.
And she's pissed with what?
With off.
Well, it's Aquarius energy. So that's group energy. That's the seniors.
Yeah.
It's also the structure and the organization or the lack thereof and the government, right? The system, pissed at the system. And then Salacia's there, which tells me there may be something you're not seeing clearly. It's a possibility because that's what Salacia's job. She's a lot like Neptune. I don't know what it is, like what detail, what you're missing. I have no idea. But Pluto sitting right between both of these, sitting right smack down. And so because it's sitting there, it creates a quincunx right there to your Mercury and your midheaven. And then that Mercury and that midheaven quincunx over here, we have Mercury and the sun that we're sitting here. So the quincunx goes like this, and then the finger of God comes in. The finger of God is the point that's the opposition to this 3 degrees and this 4 degrees of Mercury in Virgo. And so that means the opposition is Pisces. And so it goes like this. You see that? And that's what a finger of God looks like. It's 3 things, and of course that middle finger.
If you drew something, I can't see it.
Oh, damn. Do I not have the chart on the screen? Oh, thank you for saying that.
I have the chart, but not what you drew.
Okay, let me swap it out. Let me switch it over. Because I'm sitting here drawing
I want to
it.
see this middle finger.
Well, I want other people to see it too. Other people can recognize what a finger of God looks like in their own chart. And yeah, I got to get rid of this one. And get a new one up here.
Oh, and in the middle of all this, my daughter, she's pregnant and she's 20. She just got married. And you know, when you're in your 20s, you don't have anything. So she doesn't have internet or cable.
Yeah.
And she loves the Little House on the Prairie. And this is just like this happened all in like one day. And so I looked on like Books A Million, and I found like the complete series of Little House on the Prairie for like $6.95. I thought, this is freaking great. I'm gonna get it and send it to her. Whole thing was $15. Well, I sit around and I wait for it, but when it comes on this Wednesday, and it came and it was in one little envelope, and they only sent me one disc, but it was in French.
Oh,
so I called Books A Million, and the lady says, "Hello, how may I help you?" And I said, "Lady, do I sound like I speak French?" That was the highlight of my day, because that was just hysterical. But
oh man, well, that was a really good example of Salacia. Because there might have been some detail, it might have been in the fine print that it was in French, and you just didn't see it.
And that's what I was saying. Did I read this wrong? Or she's like, "No, you're absolutely right. We'll send you out the real thing."
Oh, okay.
But yeah, when I said, "Lady, do I sound like I speak French?" He has lost it.
Well, at least you had something you could,
yeah,
I don't know,
I was like,
have a chuckle over, even though at the moment you weren't real thrilled. Now, I want you to also look, because remember, we keep talking about 3 degrees, but it was in your 3rd house, right?
Yes.
Number 3, really prevalent. So your Salacia works like Neptune, confusions, fuzzy. I don't see the details clearly. And 3rd house, again, co-workers, neighbors, siblings. Yeah, peers. It's right there. And paperwork, the details. And your moon was right here.
That's
See that? Your moon's at 6 though, but it's still with Pluto sitting conjunct right between your Salacia and your Black Moon Lilith. Yeah, that's a square. It's usually never just one thing. There's usually got to be multiple things for it to trigger someone like that, you know?
Yeah.
So this is here, and where's Christy's moon? In her karmic 12th house. So I would probably chalk it up. Oh yeah, what about her Sedna? Her Sedna's at 354 in Taurus. And what's that? A square to the 3-degree Pluto.
Ain't that pretty?
Yeah, you see, you see that? So Sedna can be feisty and angry because she's,
And it looks like a water spout that I didn't have.
It is. It is a water spout. Isn't that interesting? It's a goddamn water spout. That's exactly what it is. I mean, it's so weird how, and it's at 3 degrees. It's at 3 degrees. And here's Christy making sure she has water. Her Sedna trines her midheaven and her Mercury. But that same Sedna was getting a square from Pluto.
But I was making sure that the residents got water too.
You did. Right, you did it.
I was making sure that
trining your
everybody was
Mercury.
taken care of.
Right, this was at your job. You were doing what you were supposed to do. So for me to kind of be, I don't know what's the wording you want to use, how to sit right with this,
reconcile,
how to reconcile it. I would be like, well, sorry, but this was right here is this sacrifice crap again. Service and sacrifice, the finger of God. And you did it. So this was your way of, you can say you were serving God, you were taking care of needs of others, and you were doing what needed to be done. And unfortunately, the utility companies, the government, nobody's going to compensate you.
No.
However, when we do this kind of work, some like to say, oh, fine, I wasn't paid. Fine, I didn't get any food stamps. Fine, I didn't get a card. But what I've gained is deposits into my spiritual account.
So I got some karma coins coming.
Yes.
Okay.
How about that? Will that work for you?
Yeah. I got that in my bank. And I put that in my lottery bank.
Yes. You do. You have it there. And what's interesting is your 3 degrees Pisces. Look what it does to your 8th house. It trines all of that. It trines all of that. The house of tragedies and traumas.
And taxes. So it means I got to pay more. It trines so I can pay more taxes. That's what that is.
Well, you have Pan right here. PAN. And it's at 3 degrees. I'm not lying. So the 3 isn't just neighbors and siblings and coworkers, and it's also my mind and my thoughts and the way I'm communicating and the way I think about what's been going on, whatever that has been, right?
It's not good. It hasn't been good.
Well, Pan can be tricky. Pan can tell us things. Pan can, especially with Pan in the 8th house, we can hear voices on the astral realm. We can tune into some things that might not help us, that kind of might just infuriate us. Not that you know.
Oh, I've been throwing a bitch fit this Wednesday.
I'm sure you have. And you also, I think this is part of it too. You have Chiron at 24 degrees. Chiron is a wound, but at 24 degrees is a Pisces degree. So that takes you more down the road to karma energy, but also the institutional and government stuff as well. I'm just saying, even it is in the 5th house. So children, fun, joy, creativity, but the job that you do, it's like children. You're taking care of these people. You're looking after
people and toddlers. You can't train them. It's like herding cats.
Yeah. So it's a tricky time for you, because this Pluto over here, that Pluto that's sitting right here, it sits here and it'll go retrograde, and the retrograde begins. Yeah, it'll be getting closer to squaring your Sedna even more.
I don't want to go through this again.
Well, it won't have to be identical. At least let's hope not. But the issues around values and self-worth, and of course the water thing is there. Pluto will square that.
Well,
It's already squaring it, but
I did learn something about value and self-worth during all this.
Good.
Is I have never, like I said, I'd never take a morsel or a drop of water from them.
Yeah.
But nobody's going to rescue me. So
Yeah,
if I'm not,
you're not the only one. There's a whole lot of us.
and here's another thing I
You're
learned,
right.
and this is how I've been trying to process this. When you're going down on an airplane, they always say to affix your mask first before helping someone else.
Yeah, they do.
So when they do bring something in, maybe I should tell them I'm a part of that team.
You said when
Like,
they do bring something in, maybe I should.
maybe I should tell them I'm a part of that team instead of telling them there's 88. Tell them there's 89 people.
Oh, well, that's pretty smart.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I
Because
do.
nobody,
Why would you not include yourself? You work there. They live there, but you work there and you're going
right.
through it
So
too.
I know that sounds selfish, but
No,
I've never done it. And like I said, as a plane's going down, they always tell you to affix your mask first
that's right. They do. That's right.
before you help someone else.
And of that is part of walking and backing out and I should say growing beyond the Piscean age, which is really more about sacrifice and service and ignore yourself and your own needs. Like that was Pisces. And Pisces has to learn how to establish its boundaries, right?
Yeah.
And by doing that, it truly then figures out how to work the system so that it's not neglecting itself because the
Right.
system will kind of forget about you. You know, they say the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Right.
But, you know,
Does that sound right in my logical? I've got to reconcile this some way. But does
well,
that
it's
sound
definitely
I'm
not
being
lying.
selfish?
You're there with those people. You're going through it with them. It's not lying.
Right. Does that sound like I'm being selfish?
No,
Because I
no,
always
but
worry about
Pisces would, no, it's not being selfish. I don't
because I
think it's
was
being
without
selfish. I
water
think it's
longer
being
than they were.
smart. And especially since this alignment is always here in your chart with this
Yeah.
finger of God, of the service and the sacrifice. But it's also the confusions and the delusions and things slip through the cracks and people get lost and slip through the cracks and people are invisible, like literally, you know. So yeah, I mean, I just, yeah, I don't think that's being selfish.
But yeah, I did learn about value, and I was wore out by the 17th day,
Oh, I'm sure you were.
and they didn't lose anything, and so I started thinking because I've been so mad, I've got to reconcile this so I can just get over it.
And it must have had to do something. I'm guessing because it's a senior community, there was a lot of people where you're just one person.
Yeah. Yeah,
So none of
being
your neighbors,
worthless.
nobody around you, nobody else went through this?
Well, it was the whole the town went through 2 days of I'm gonna say no water, but it's quote unquote. I've got air bunnies popping up. But where we live, I live 4 miles from town. Everybody around us did not have water for 5 days. We're fed off of a tank that comes from the town,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't getting filled. So we're
Right.
the only one on that system.
Oh, there's power in numbers. That's it right there.
Right.
That's it
so
right there.
that's
Yep.
why. And then when it did come on, then it went off again for another 5 days.
Gotcha.
So everybody around us had water for at least 8 more days than we did.
Yeah. Holy
So,
crap.
but
Well,
like I
that
said,
would just, yeah. Well, start digging your,
outhouse. And
yeah, I would just do it. It's just preparing, especially
Yeah.
with what you just described.
yeah,
You're the only ones on that damn tank.
yeah. And I'm the
So-
only one at work that will do this because my maintenance guy's worthless.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, do what you got to do when you're at the job because, yep, add 89, not 88, 89.
Right.
Absolutely.
And,
Otherwise, you're just going to keep getting looked over.
yeah. And then they'll get reimbursed at the end of it anyway. I won't.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
know that just makes me feel so selfish.
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone could call that being selfish, what you just described that you had been through and everything you had to do. And when you explained that you were the only one on that tank, well, that's why.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
it's one person. Who gives a shit?
Right. Right.
It
Right.
doesn't matter, you know? But when you have 88 tenants, that's a little bit different.
Right.
They don't, and those are tenants who don't have a job. They be calling all damn day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And what the funny thing is during, like I told you that we're running on a generator. They didn't
Yeah.
lose anything because if they had lost something, I would have heard about it.
Oh, right. You would have been the first person they called. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
lost all this. They didn't. No one even uttered
Well,
those words to
that's
me.
what makes this hard is the comparison, right? Because you knew what was happening at the job, and
Yeah.
then you knew what you were going through at the home.
Yeah.
And you could see the drastic difference of the responses.
Because I made sure they were taken care of. I made sure that they were taken care of.
You did. That's right. Pisces. That's right. You know, Pisces is another word for Pisces is also martyrs.
Oh, I'm not a martyr. Get
I'm
down
not
off the
saying
cross.
you're a
Somebody else
martyr,
needs the wood. You
But
know?
sometimes I'm not calling you a martyr, but Pisces has a tendency, well, they'll go ahead and they'll do that sacrifice and that
Mhm.
service, but then they might get a little angry if nobody's recognizing that service and that sacrifice. That's Pisces energy.
But
And I'm
here's-
not saying like I'm just explaining the energy, sister.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. You're I'm not
explaining the
mad at
energy.
you.
No, I get it. But I'm just saying that what you just described, like the way you said it, like that's Pisces.
Wow.
That is Pisces. You know, there's people who've been married for a long time, and the wife or the husband, whoever it is, always does the sacrificing, and it just works because he's always sacrificing or she always is. And then for whatever reason, one day they just are like, what the hell am I doing? And then they get on this thing like, but I'm the one who's always sacrificed. But they're angry about it, you know, and it's like, but nobody asked you to do that.
Right.
Now I know it's your job. I get it. It's your job. I understand. But I'm just furthering, you know, the example of the Pisces energy and how it gets on like its martyr type of pedestal where it wants the recognition that it sacrificed, you know.
Well, they got it. They got recognized.
Well, I hope your tenants recognize what you did for them.
Oh, you know how they are. They're just,
Well,
yeah, it's just, it don't matter. They, like I said, a produce place came and gave them food, and then they walked and got another, after they got $290, and then they went and got a free meal. You know what I mean? It's just, where's the
well, I
next-
never seen no senior pass up anything free.
I know, but
Ever.
I will find all that produce or the majority of that produce in the dumpster Monday morning. I can guarantee.
Oh, you will.
Yes, I found
That's different.
during COVID, out of the 2 trucks, the food trucks that were full for my residents, one of them gave. We had hamburger from the USDA. It was in pound increments. Everybody got 5 pounds. I know I found 100 pounds of dead beef in the dumpster.
Oh no!
I was livid.
Oh no! No wonder. Oh
Yeah,
God!
it's
So they'll
wasteful.
take it. They know they're not going to use it though. Why
Yes.
would they?
Or hoard it, or you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I guess that's human nature. I guess that's human nature. Because you're giving us examples of what you've seen in the past.
Yeah,
So it's been done.
yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
your Pisces got triggered, and then it triggered your 8th house. So
that's karma coins. I got some karma coins coming.
yeah, and then previous wounds, dealing with the public, of course, Cancer energy, and family.
But see, I consider them family too.
I know. Yeah.
Because I love on them.
Yeah. Well,
But they piss me off. Like family.
no, I mean, yeah, I could understand that totally. That would be frustrating. I totally agree. And it can't be easy having a Uranus opposing a Chiron. And see, that's the relationship also with the seniors.
Yeah.
And it's at 24 degrees.
Like I told you, it's like herding cats.
Yeah. It's just more karmic energy, man. It's crazy. It's pretty crazy all the 24s you have in here. Wow.
Yeah, look at them all.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you just see it as, yeah, your karma coins.
Yeah, I'm gonna take those karma coins out and put it in my money market lottery account.
Okay. Money market lottery account.
Yeah,
Holy
I'm
shit.
gonna flip those karma coins, and I'll remember you, G.
Okay.
So, y'all might not know it, but there'll be signs. If I hit the lottery, there'll be signs.
Oh, well, I'm sure. I don't doubt. All of a sudden, I'll get like this big old Cash App, PayPal thing or whatever, and be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Christy says, go out to lunch. Get yourself, buy the kitty cat some food, some treats.
I'll be more than that.
All right. Well, hopefully you feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
But
you help me
chart,
actually reconcile this.
Yeah, because this would be a trigger all the time. Whenever these degrees get because your finger of God is always here.
It's greed. It's greed and corruption.
Your finger of God is always here.
Yeah, greed and corruption, always, always
Pisses you off.
And pettiness. Yes, that will trigger me quicker than anything. Those three things.
Okay, well, at least you know that. And yeah, the trigger is Aries at 4 degrees. So yep, gonna be real pissed. 4 degrees Aries, fiery in its emotions.
Oh yeah, I will run my mouth.
With your Black Moon Lilith, 4 degrees. Those are all part of that finger of God that you have. Because your Mercury's at 4, your midheaven's at 3.
Yeah, that's
so when you break it down and look at it like this, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep. And actually, it is a middle finger because
it is. The middle finger's it is.
I will flip.
It's an upside down, but it's still just the way your finger of God sits.
Yeah, because I will flip out on those three things.
All right. Well, just remember about Pluto. It's not going anywhere. It will eventually go retrograde, but it's got to go up in a little bit more numbers, and it'll angle your Sedna even more exact.
But that's so slow, though, isn't it, Pluto?
It is slow. It is slow, but it's the Pluto retrograde. Let me click on this real quick because I think it goes, if I'm not mistaken. Wait a minute. Let me see if it'll let me do this. Yeah, it did. September, March. Yeah, I'm like drawing a blank as to when the retrograde for Pluto begins. I don't know why. There it is. So it's not that far away. It's like in May. You follow?
Yes.
Okay, because it'll get to like 350 and stand still. And your Sedna is at 354.
Right.
There's just been with Sedna, there's a lot of history of being left alone and isolated and being basically left for dead after I've been used and abused. That's the story of Sedna.
Yeah.
That's her story. And
Yeah.
so with that there and it being triggered, just remember that that's part of it. And it's you saying, well, I can take care of myself.
And I do.
Yeah.
And everybody else.
All right. Well,
That's what I do.
then maybe you'll have to reserve a little bit more for yourself so that, you know,
Well, that's the lesson. That's the lesson I learned.
yeah. Yeah. Somebody used to say, I forget. Actually, I heard a couple people say it. They used to say things like, they would say this exactly. They would say, based on your circumstance, every good deed, what's the saying? Every good
No
deed
good deed goes unpunished. I
goes
can tell you
unpunished.
that.
Yeah. And I'd be like, okay,
I
I
say
don't like
that
that.
all the time.
Oh, you do say it all the time?
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yep.
I don't care for that saying at all.
But it's true.
I had a
It's-
couple other people say that. Oh, you try to stop and do a good deed, and then look what happened.
And you know when that happens, I figured this one out because I've said that. My mom told me that a long time ago. She also said, "Don't drag a stove down the road." But you know, it what it means really, no good deed goes unpunished. That means you're doing too good. Because sometimes you can do too much good and get too, and your karma, your dogma needs to balance out. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I just,
So,
in my mind, I don't know. I'm just,
well, that's what
I'm-
I figured out.
I never
Yes.
really, I don't know. I just never saw it that way. And I never see it that way where I help somebody or I do something and I feel like I got burned, like to balance. Like I've just never, I haven't observed that. Maybe I should just stop talking about it. I don't want to observe it either.
Yeah, but it's usually like you're doing something good for somebody, and
Well, I guess that means I'm not doing enough good. I guess that's what
no,
that means.
it means stop. You need to do something for yourself, or really, I mean, I think in the spiritual part of it,
Yeah. Yeah, I
means
understand what you're saying.
maybe you need to stop doing for everybody else and just take a step back. Because once you see it, you'll be like, yeah, that's probably what I did.
That was that.
I overextended.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I've always seen it as me being responsible for that. That's just, what I'm saying? Because I know of times where I've definitely have done that. And I see me that it was my fault for overextending myself. Absolutely.
And that's what no good deed goes unpunished.
All right. Well, then we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
We'll leave it at the point where we agree.
All right. I'll scream at you later. And thank you so much for all you do.
You are welcome. You
All
are
right.
welcome. I'm just glad you got water and you're up and running.
For now.
Well, you're going to
Don't
make sure.
sneeze.
Yeah,
The
don't.
the power might go out.
All right, Amiga, you take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's get this rolling here. After Christy is Stacy. And I know this because there was only a few people in the chat. Let's see what we got going on here. It's a nice, slow, mellow night, which is good because I think it's probably best for me, my eyeballs, to have a good, mellow night. All right, let me get the link for Stacy. I think she's here already. Holy moly, let's see. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey, Stacy, how are you? Well, I know the answer already. You said you're anxious because you're waiting.
I can't even spell anxious. I'm so anxious.
So is there other options in case this one doesn't work out for you?
No.
Like, have you been looking at other places? I guess is really what I'm saying.
No other places. There are no other places. I haven't given my notice officially where I'm at. So,
There are no other places. Wow.
yeah, that's how bad
Man,
it
I think
is
I would
here.
go nuts if I didn't have options.
If I were to get kicked out of my apartment
Yeah.
where I'm at now,
Yeah.
I would be on the streets. Well, I'd be living with relatives.
Well, it's just crazy. Like, so if people have literally no options,
No,
It almost,
there's a serious housing problem here and a serious homelessness problem here.
well,
I mean,
extremely serious
I
because you all
never,
literally don't have any other
yeah,
option.
no, I never, there's people with tents on sidewalks that I never in my life thought I would see. I mean, it's sad.
Oh
I
yeah.
would go down south and think it was sad,
Mm-hmm.
but now it's here.
Yeah.
And it's
So you're
like,
seeing
and
it there
it's
too.
even
Yeah.
sadder because the only way to get in and out of here is by boat or plane, and it's expensive to get a plane ticket or a ferry ticket.
So once they're there, they're kind of trapped then
Yeah,
because they don't even have the option to get the hell out of the town.
right. And a lot of them come for jobs and then either lose the job for one reason or another,
Right.
or
Or the
something
job ends.
yeah, and then they can't, find another
Yeah.
job, and
Yeah,
yeah.
that's horrible.
I know.
Yeah.
So I'm just in the final stages of this. I feel like I should have access to the Oval Office with all the paperwork I filled out.
Yeah, I'm
I'll talk to them
at this
Thursday.
stage. I would definitely prefer to have you in the Oval Office. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I know. I
It's just
figure if I
crazy
make
shit.
it that far, I'll talk to him about Christy's situation. Or
Well,
that's
understanding the details of how they were the only one on that water supply, now I get it.
Oh
because
yeah,
that's
that's
just
just BS, and that
yeah,
is
people just
fraud.
get screwed, right?
And if I was Christy, I wouldn't put my name on anything because shit rolls downhill.
There you go, Christy. You got it. She said you're talking. She was talking about when you said you weren't going to sign anything and fax it over.
I wouldn't.
Christy,
Shit rolls
Stacy said,
downhill.
yeah, she wouldn't have signed anything either.
Yep. It's like I am not participating in fraud. And that's what they're doing. And it's just, like she said, because they can get something for free. And
Well, that's what I'm saying. Humans, it's humans. It's not just the seniors. Like you offer
yeah.
somebody something for free, and people get really crazy.
Well, if you don't have any integrity.
Well,
Yeah,
if it's
that's when
free,
comes.
it doesn't matter. It's like, oh, but it's free. Get it. Let me have that. People, I mean, it could be the dumbest damn thing in the world too, and it's free, but people want it because it's free. People just, it's human nature, man. It's
Yeah.
just a shame they couldn't have sent the food to somebody who could have used it. That's just, and that's,
And 100 pounds of ground beef. I mean, I would be livid too. There's kids starving in this country.
yeah. there sure
And
are.
you're throwing away 100 pounds of ground beef? Man, I'd be.
Well, it was each senior throwing away the part they didn't finish or couldn't eat or didn't put it in the freezer and it went bad. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah,
And it
I
ended
know.
up getting thrown out.
I don't want to be judgmental. I mean, I know I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know
hard.
the
It's hard.
circumstance, but I'm just like, I mean, we shouldn't be having the problems that we have in this country. We really shouldn't. But we do. And
We do.
all
We do.
everybody could do is do their part. And Christy, that is good karma for her. I mean, lugging water up. Yeah. Good
All right, so
Anyway,
let's check this out here.
I could go on and on about that for Christy too. But anyways, yeah, I am am I signing a lease next week? That's one thing I want to know.
So you're
I'm
asking
I'm
for
looking
next
at the-
week, are you signing a lease?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
The Venus, the Mercury, the retrograde stuff.
Yeah, that scares me.
Yeah, they're right here. They're right here on your fourth house cusp line.
I know.
Your fourth house cusp was at 26.
Yeah.
But you do have, where Venus is going to go back to. She's going to go back to 24 degrees. That's where her retrograde ends.
Mm-hmm.
And your Venus is at 24 degrees with your North Node in Taurus. That's a sextile to Pisces energy. and Uranus is sitting right there. You see that?
Yeah.
Yep, that's a nice sextile.
Okay.
And Mercury's right there with Venus. Venus is going to go back to, that's where she stands still at 24. And Saturn's there too, which can be institutional energy, but long-term money combined together with the institutional energy. And it's in the third house. So it's another building. It's another complex, basically. Apartment complex or whatever.
Yeah.
Neighbors. Yeah. So Venus, is also the ruler of contracts, the Libra energy. And your descendant is at 24 and you have, that's business partnerships, and you have the North Node, your North Node and Venus sitting there with Uranus. So it does kind of scream to a new partnership, a new professional partnership.
I hope so, because this waiting and all this paperwork, the lease, I haven't even signed the lease yet.
And then it trines your Mercury. You see your Mercury up there at 24?
Yeah. I know, I could see all that. And usually what I want
Well,
is
verification.
That it's all that, because I keep thinking, oh, Mercury is retrograde, and it's usually not good.
Well, you're right. It is. It is. You're absolutely right. But in your case, this looks like because they're passing over Saturn, they'll both be like passing over in conjunct Saturn. Venus actually goes over. And so once that happens, Saturn gives Venus the direction, gives Venus orders, says these are the new rules, these are the new regulations. You follow? And that's why this is a tricky time, because it is a birth of Venus, right? But it's in Pisces. So, maybe this is kind of looking like, I don't see it as looking like, oh no, we're going to not accept this application, because you have so much that's part of this trine. I mean, you have a water trine with your South Node, and it all goes back to that 24 degrees. It's really powerful. But the thing is that by Tuesday, like, Mercury's done retrograding, but she hasn't cleared the retrograde zones. And so the retrograde zones and all that back and forth, like, that's going to be in your fourth house. So it almost looks like maybe you're the one. It's possible that, you may be rethinking things, and not rethinking as in changing your mind, but having options. Because if you're moving, you might be getting rid of stuff, or maybe you already got rid of stuff. Aries can be impulsive. You follow? It's in the fourth house. So Venus and Mercury are going to get back there. I don't know. Maybe they'll send a contract back to you that has, some additional thing because there's a pet. I don't know. Might be that, might be, who knows? There might be some little add-on to the contract. I don't know. And maybe you may look at it and be like, oh, well, then I don't think I want this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm only saying that because we're dealing with Pisces energy, and because these are retrogrades. Does this make sense? Hello? Uh-oh. Are we live? What's going on? Hello? Are you here, Stacy? Oh, I don't think... Stacy, I can't hear you. Stacy, I don't know where you went. Okay, well, can anybody else hear me? Am I still? Yeah, Stacy's gone. Her internet or something probably kind of went wacky. Once too many people are on that same internet, it creates a problem. And that's what happens in buildings sometimes. Just depends. Okay, so yeah, I think let me see, the North Node is going backwards. All right, Stacy's back. So let me finish this up. Okay, are you there, Stacy?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, it said that StreamYard was doing updates.
Oh, well, how
Just to
funny,
warn
right?
anybody else. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
geez,
it didn't
thank
happen
you.
on my end.
Anyway, they already made a change and increased my deposit.
Yeah. Okay, so you already knew
So,
that.
yeah, I
Okay.
already knew that. But
Okay.
they also said I asked if I could make a couple different changes to
Yeah.
the lease. The lease is 58 pages. Um, but
Whoa.
they, yeah,
The hell?
and that it doesn't even include all the background check. I had to have a background check by them. Then I had to have a background check by another
Boy.
company, which
They,
is what I'm waiting to hear back on now. And it's like, good grief, people.
yeah,
But
this shit's
that's
insane.
why I say. And then I got to sign the lease, and then there's two other the lease, and then there's a whole other agreement I got to sign.
This shit is insane.
It is just to get into an apartment, but it's a great apartment. I get my own, finally get my own washer and dryer. I got a dishwasher. I have a
Well, that's
trail
good.
that Chloe can walk on. Our view is of the river, and it's
So it's like
awesome.
an upgrade for you. So that would be nice.
It's like the song, the theme song from the Jeffersons.
Yeah. Moving on up.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. But
Well, the
so
other thing
it
too,
looks okay. Go ahead.
the North Node, it goes backwards, right? It's at 27. So, it's sitting, it's conjunct your Chiron. And this 26 has to do with the IC, the home. The home. So that's part of this here.
Mhm.
And yeah, Mercury's there as well at 26. Saturn's there as well. So let me see.
Knock it off.
Nothing over there.
What year is the
Well,
dog?
the only thing I can see, if you look at your second and your eighth house cusp lines, Saturn and Mercury and the North Node and your Chiron, they all square. But I am hopeful with that Venus. But I think you have Jupiter as you have Jupiter as your greater benefic in your chart,
Yeah, Mars is my.
not Venus.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it's a birth of Venus. She's starting a new cycle. So I guess at this point, you just keep your fingers crossed because there are positive things in the chart. But this North Node, the Mercury, all this being on your Chiron, and that squares your second house and your eighth house. Like exactly. Yeah. So you're kind of in the same scenario that you were in before you came on the live. You're like, okay, it's 50% this way, 50% this way. But normally when you have a North Node, this is a new beginning. This is about the future, and it's on the fourth house cusp line. It can absolutely speak to a new beginning because it's the North Node in Pisces squaring Saggy, which is Jupiter, and Jupiter is your greater benefic.
Okay.
So that can be positive. So I'm just kind of going through with a needle here and saying it's still 50% of one and 50% of the other. The South Node hitting the midheaven like it is, it's a release of goals. It is domestic energy, right? Your daily routines. So there's things changing, professional, your long-term goals, switching up and changing that.
Yeah,
So
it would change my long-term goals moving into this place because it would change. I would have to change to like a 2 or 3 year plan of staying here. So.
Yeah. So they want a longer. It's not a 1 year lease.
It's a 1 year. Actually, it's a month, I think. But financially, because it's going to cost me a little bit more.
It's a month-to-month lease?
Yeah. So far, let me put it that way. So far, it is. Most apartments.
Oh, I'd be freaking out with a month-to-month lease.
Yeah, I would prefer a year long, but most places do a month to month because
Yeah,
if
because
they,
they can, assholes.
well, they can, but
Like, oh,
there's
your lease is
people,
up. Time to go. We got a new tenant. Oh, okay, thanks.
or they, well, they have to give you notice. Like, they have to give me like 2 months notice
Oh,
that,
okay. There you go.
they're,
60 days.
yeah, that they're, letting there, that I have to move out.
Yeah, that they're
But
increasing
they
the
have
rent
to
and they're going
have,
to have somebody else come in who's paying a higher rent. I get it. I'm just
no, they
saying
can't
that's what
because this is
that's
based
rampant throughout
on,
the country right now.
yeah,
Girl, are you
well,
sure
this
you want
is,
to move?
yeah, because this is the place that would, they've already raised my rent twice.
Man.
And I live in, right now I live in 300 square feet for
Oh,
for $1,000 a month.
wow.
And I'm moving
Man.
to 660 square
Randy
feet.
Jones is apparently the only person who's running places, who's got operations in different facilities or different compounds or whatever, that's not literally out to just completely screw people. Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm ready to move to West Virginia and rent one of Chrissy's places.
Yeah, this is some crazy shit.
And I'm a good tenant. When they were selling this building, they used my apartment as a
Yeah,
model apartment. So,
yeah,
because it looks like good housekeeping.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. It's some
It's
depressing
like,
shit.
yeah, it's like, I'm
Well,
just
let me
like,
ask you this question then. If they come back to you and say, "Here you go. Here's your 30-month lease." I'm sorry, here's your 1 month lease, your 30-day lease. Are you going to sign it? Are you going to be like, "Yeah, I'm going to take this"?
yeah, because that's what I did here.
Oh, so for where you live is currently every 30 days you're signing a new lease?
No, you don't sign a lease. You sign the lease, and it just says that it's a month by month rent payment. And they can give you, it's a
Oh, so
rental
it's not,
agreement.
so it's okay.
It's not a
I understand the
lease.
monthly rent payment. I get that, but I thought
Yeah,
I
it's not a,
misunderstood you then.
okay, yeah, it's not like a lease. It's a rental agreement.
For 30
But
days, that's what I thought you said.
oh, yeah,
Meaning you're
no,
only
it
renting
just
for 30
means
days and then it's up for renewal at the end of 30 days.
no. Then
Okay,
you
good.
just
Because I
keep.
was just about to say, Stacey, do not do this.
Oh no, I would not do something like
Okay.
that.
I thought that's what you
No.
said you were doing. And I'm like,
Oh no, I use the
am
wrong
I hearing this
word.
shit right? Okay.
It's a rental agreement, not,
Okay.
and they're dealing with a whole other agency too.
Well, as
And
long as it's not an agreement for just 30 days. Okay.
no, they
Wow.
yeah, and
Okay.
yeah. So yes, I'll sign it because they would love to get rid of me here. And this is a really bad area. Like I
Yeah. Oh, I understand. Right. You're like,
yeah.
okay, I've outgrown this. Time to move the hell on. Well,
And
then
it's
to me, a lot of the back and forth with the retrograde can be the back and forth with the contract. You already said you changed something, they changed something. So, you know, maybe that's part of this.
they allowed me to make, I said, would it be okay if I did, I'm looking at the rental, or at the rental agreement, and it says I can't have this, and I was wondering, and I should send them a picture, and I said, and I'd also like to put rechargeable under counter lighting in that's magnetic, and the maintenance guy, and I'd leave it when I left, and the regional manager was like, yes to both.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
when they say something like that, then that gives me, like, makes me feel positive that yes, I'm already in. But at the same time, what's taking so long? You know? And even the man, they want me to leave so bad because I'm the only one that has the dog. And I had to fight to get the dog
well,
in
you said
here.
what's taking so long. Saturn's part of the process. You see that, right?
Oh,
That's just the way it works with Saturn. It's going to
well,
take it. Yeah, Saturn slows things down.
somebody needs to take Saturn out.
That's the way Saturn works. That's the way Saturn works.
I have no patience, and
Oh,
it's
Aries in the
like,
fourth.
yeah,
Well,
I'm just like, I'm packing.
yeah,
I haven't sold anything yet.
yeah.
I'm getting ready to because, but I'm packing. At least it gets, if I end up not moving, at least I've gone through everything I own and
Right,
gotten rid of stuff that
right.
I don't
Yeah,
need.
you see it as a spring cleaning or as shit that was going to have to eventually be done anyway. So
Yeah.
it's
And
not
then,
it's
and the
not
nice thing is that for beginning like mid-month, mid-April, I'll be house sitting and dog sitting for my cousin and his wife for 40 days because their daughter in Oregon is having a baby and they're going to be down there. They have a
well.
house down there.
One thing I will say that with the Mars retrograde over and Mars moving forward, that at this time, the Mercury at 26, the Saturn at 25, Venus at 24, that Mercury at 26 is trining your Mars. I'm sorry, the transiting Mars up in the sky. Now that Mars is at 26 and Venus is trining your Mercury. So information, hopefully what you want to hear, good information, because it's a retrograding Venus, right? So she's stronger. And yeah, the Mercury and Mars are talking. They're trining along with the North Node. Well, whenever Mars gets part of a conversation, it's taking action. It's activated. It gets activated. So
Well,
if
at that
you're not
degree,
moving, I don't think you'd be activated.
Mars at that, what degree is it at?
26, it's trining
Okay.
your fourth house cusp line.
Right. And it's also conjunct my sun moon midpoint. It's
Well,
off
then
by a
hopefully
few
this is a new
few
beginning.
degrees.
Sun, moon, midpoint is like a new moon, a new beginning.
Right. Okay. I'm
So,
excited.
so we'll keep our fingers crossed for you. You'll have to give us an update and let us know.
Okay.
But yeah,
Thank you. And
yeah.
Francesca's next.
Oh, you are welcome, Stace. Thank you. Thank you very much for all you do.
Hey, you're very welcome. Thank you, G.
All righty. You're welcome, amiga. Okay. She said Francesca is next. I hope I have a... Sounds familiar. Let me look it up. Is Francesca still here is the question. Francesca, Dragon Queen. I thought I saw Lou S here. John D. I see John D. Lou. I thought I saw Lou. I think I saw Alyssa here. Gibson, how the hell are you? Yeah, Lou S. I see. Keeping busy. Yep. All right. Gibson, how are you? No, thank you. I have been battling a headache. Oh, God, I'm so sorry, Gibson. I had that damn migraine for like 72 hours. And I finally was just like, okay, just keep my eyes closed. I'm not looking at any charts. I ain't looking at nothing. And thank God, by Sunday evening, it just disappeared. And I was like, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so it doesn't... Oh, Dragon Queen gave a wave. All right. Dragon Queen, are you grabbing the link? Are you coming on the live to chit chat about what's going on, about what you want me to look at, or should I just go ahead and take the chart and just start reading? Because I'm not coming back to read the chat. That's how it works. Unless people grab the link, then I can hear them. Yeah. I'm going to save my eyeballs. Let me get this Dragon Queen chart up here. Okay, I think we got Dragon Queen or Francesca in the room somewhere. Let's see. Hello, hello,
Hello?
hello, hello, hello. I
Hello?
can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Excellent. What is going on with you, Francesca? I forget, where are you watching from?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Oh, yeah. Pittsburgh. Okay. So we looked at your chart a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of rejection letters from finding a job.
Oh, gosh. Well, man, you're in the U.S., right? I'm just saying,
Yeah.
the consumer confidence in the economy is really freaking low. Everything is just going down. And the problem with that, I mean, this is like, it doesn't take astrology to know this part. And I'll look at your chart. Yeah, companies are going to be super hesitant to hire because the honeymoon is over and shit's just not looking to be up positive at all. In general, there's just been a lot of really unstable conversations, and it's just not helpful for people looking for work. It's hurtful, actually. So, did I put the chart under Francesca?
I believe so, yeah.
Damn. I don't have it under Francesca. But I don't reckon. Was there another name you had? Because I don't remember Dragon Queen.
Irish Eyes?
Did you say Fireside?
Irish Eyes.
How can you spell that?
Irish Eyes?
Oh, Irish. Got it. Let me see if that's what we have here. Yeah, because if you came in under a different channel name, I would have made the chart for whatever channel name you were under at the time, whatever Gmail account.
Downtown Girl Fifi at gmail.com.
Oh, well, hold on. I'm still looking for Irish Eyes. Let's see here. Oh my gosh. It's Irish Eyes. There you go. Multiple aliases. Yeah. A lot of Gmail accounts. All right, let's get this baby on here and see what we can see. Let's see if it'll let me. It's going to behave. There we go. We got your chart there. All right. So, let me get rid of this. Let's see if there's some good news for you. Okay, so 22 midheaven. Oh, well, you know what? Jupiter's getting close to your midheaven. And let me see. But Jupiter is not your greater benefic. Venus is. Okay, well, we're having a birth of Venus in a few days. So let's see if Venus can show up for you in a beautiful way. You do have Venus in your second house. That's a nice thing. Okay, there's Venus there. Let's go to here. I see you've got a lot going on in partnerships in that 7th house because the retrogrades, Venus and Mercury, 23 degrees of Pisces, Saturn being there. Okay, so Saturn slows things down just in general. Yeah. All right. So here we are, March 30th. The sun is at 9 degrees in Aries. And it's that 9 degrees in Aries where it's going to take for Venus and Mercury to get to there. before we're out of this retrograde. So until that time, it's a lot of back and forth, and it's all going, it's all going over your descendant of partnerships. If you're going to hear anything positive soon, it would need to be Venus at 24 degrees standing still. And that can happen. That can happen because Venus talks to a boss. She talks to Saturn. And so let me kind of see where this Mercury is going to play out in this for you at this time. Okay, so Mercury will be like, all right, and it's there. It's 22. Mercury will be, okay, you have your 11th house cusp line is at 26 degrees, and that's exactly where Mars is going to be. So that's like April 10th. You've got Mercury connected to your sun down there in the third house of communication. That's in fire. Neptune and Saturn. All right, so you might get some information. Oh, this is tricky, though, because your Chiron is right there. Damn. I was just thinking when Saturn and Neptune, like when they get up here, they're going to trigger your sun and your Mercury. But you got this Chiron here. You got this wound in partnerships. Starting new partnerships.
You mean with someone?
Well, it's personal and professional. The 7th house can be both.
Okay.
So,
well, I have a part-time job right now, but
yeah, I can understand that.
I'm having some issues there.
Like I need to get the hell out of
like
here.
if I get, well, I mean, I like what I do, but
Right.
there's some things going on, and they fired like 6 people, so
Yeah, I understand
if
what
I
you're
can
saying.
get, if I can get a full-time job, I might be jetting.
Yeah. Well, as long as we have this mutable, changeable energy happening, which we do, and Venus is in the mutable, changeable, which means even if somebody called you tomorrow, I personally would say it's a possibility that might change. You follow? Like you might go in and then they might be like, oh, well, we changed, the department all of a sudden doesn't exist 2 weeks in or something, because we're in this funky Pisces energy and it's all still in a shadow zone. Now, Jupiter, April 10th, and actually even right now, we look at Jupiter and it's conjunct your moon. Jupiter's conjunct your moon. You see that? So it's near your midheaven. And so hopefully this Jupiter is keeping you busy with getting interviews, hopefully at least.
Yeah,
I would just keep plugging away.
I had an interview on Wednesday and I took a test on Thursday. The interview didn't go well. I can already, you know how you have your gut intuition.
Hell yeah.
But I did really well on the test. But she said, she had other people to test. So I have to wait for the guy to call me for an interview. But it's not panning out.
Yeah. Well, I'm being optimistic with this Jupiter because even though it's not your greater benefic, once it gets to your moon, even though it's already near your moon, it should be triggering this Libra energy, your partnership energy on your 2nd house cusp line. Now, that is partnership energy, so it's very similar to, it's actually the same as what's on the 7th house. It's Libra. And Libra, Venus rules this Libra. So I don't want to give you false hope, but there might be a possibility because the power planet for you is Venus, and she rules your 2nd house, which is my money.
Yay!
Yeah, she rules that. And Jupiter will be talking to that 2nd house.
Thank the
So,
Lord.
well, I'm hoping that's what happens because we're still, this is all very unstable energy. Everything in your seventh house, and it's just not you, it's all this stuff in Pisces. It's really unstable. And as long as we got somebody who's unstable at the top, that sets the whole tone for the entire, unfortunately, the whole goddamn world. That's the way it's working. And the reality is the world is canceling the United States because the United States has become a very aggressive country. And they're the kid that doesn't play well together with the other kids in the sandbox right now. So, I mean, that's like the best information I can give you because of the change, because we're going to have even more changes happening. And the changes that are going to be happening for this whole year are all in your seventh house.
Which is what?
Partnerships.
Partnership.
Yeah, which is who you partner up with professionally, which means who I'm working for, and romantically. You follow? Saturn and Neptune are going to enter the Aries energy, but then they back into Pisces again. So what started in Aries, we back into Pisces, and what the hell just happened? It all changed. You see? So you might find another part-time, and that might be not what you want, but if you find a different part-time, it might be better than the current part-time. And then you might be able to have two part-times, because there's just a lot of we have to be flexible and mutable, and we have to know going forward, it's a really good possibility this shit's going to change again. I know that's not what you want to hear. But again, Venus rules your second house cusp line. So that's the sliver of hope there, is that for you. Let me see if you have anything. 3. You do have something over here. Oh, you have. Oh, interesting. What degree is that? 341. Oh, well, here's something I can tell you that's interesting. This Pluto in your fifth house. Oh, maybe this has to do with love or children or creating. You have this Pluto over here is going to be it's already training. You have an object. It's hard to see it here. So let me get rid of this. But you have. There we go. So this is Isis, and she's kind of like a rebirth energy, and she's at 341. So Pluto's going to get closer and closer to her, like in the next couple of weeks. Nice. And it's in Libra. So that's hopeful as well, because Libra is ruled by your Venus. You see? Okay. So it's possible. There's just little bits of hope here and there. Oh, wait, I see you have a Saturn at 3, a retrograding Saturn at 3, and Pluto is right now. Pluto's already past that Saturn, though. Your Saturn's at 325. This Pluto's already past it, but it is going to retrograde, and it's going to retrograde back over your Saturn again. So this is stress and tension. It's square, and Saturn is your work. It's your duty. It's your long-term goals. It's your responsibilities. And so, yeah, there's like a process you're in. Multiple part-time gigs might be, unfortunately, it might be a solution for a lot of people. I think the days of finding full-time, I just, because of what's going on in this country, I just think shit's looking pretty slim pickings. And so maybe that means you pick something, you apply to somewhere or get a resume into somewhere that you were never even thinking would ever do or be interested in. At this point, especially with Jupiter at your midheaven, I would be trying anything and everything, especially if you said they're letting go of people and you're like, shit, the writing's on the wall. I better get out while I can still put down that I'm still employed on a freaking thing, right?
Right.
Let me do one last thing for you. Let me jump ahead a little bit with the Jupiter. And let's see if Jupiter gets an activation other than your moon. Let's see. Okay, so that's in April when Jupiter will talk to your second house cusp line. And then here we go. We got Jupiter 20. Let me see if we got any other things lining up for you. Yeah, you have a lot of stuff over here in Libra and Air at 20, 19, 20, and 22. You got 3 objects here at 22 degrees. Your midheaven is at 22 degrees. Venus is about to enter back into Aries, and Mercury has cleared the retrograde. Okay, that's good news. Mercury's cleared its retrograde here by now. So, all right, I'm looking at April, the end of April. And we got Mars over there at 3 degrees in Leo. Ooh, you have it on your Black Moon Lilith there. Ah, damn. Okay, so it's on your Black Moon Lilith, and that, she can be kind of angry. Hidden things about the personality that might appear egotistical or childish even. It's in the location of friends and group energy, but it's squares, can be romantic partners as well, but it squares that Saturn. And so that means that, yeah, this Mars, this is really just like tricky shit. Because Mars infuriates us. We get angry with Mars. It's on your Black Moon. That Black Moon is this big T-square with your long-term goals and Saturn energy and Pluto. This Mars will activate the T-square that you always have, which is fun and romance, working with group energy, possibly, or having fun with group energy, but Pluto's changing how you function within groups. And I don't know if your work has to do with social services of any kind, or, children's services or activities, anything like that. But it's different. It's new. There could be technology involved in this, but it all squares that Saturn, which is your job and your work and your duty. So let me go look at your Mercury one more time. Your Mercury's at 7 in Saggy, also partnerships. Oh, okay. Well, how about this? We will back this up a little bit. And I'll say that if you get some good news, if there's something that looks optimistic, we'll go with a Mercury trine Mercury. And so we'll say like mid-April, there might be something promising that you actually are like, oh yes, that you're happy about.
Cool.
I don't know if it's ideal, but because there's just a lot of other stresses going on. Because as long as Pluto stresses your work, well, that can be hard. That can be hard. And it might be what you're feeling right now is the stress and tension of what you're dealing with at the job. And at the same time going on interviews and just getting rejection letters. Like, yeah, that's stressful. So hopefully this gives you...
Unless I meet a billionaire.
Well, I guess we'll find out if you do. Here's the other thing that might be a little bit optimistic. I don't want to give you too much, but your natal Neptune is at 28 in Scorpio. And this is a trine to the North Node, to Saturn, to Venus, to this Venus retrograde. So that might be positive for you. As long as Venus is part of the story, it might be positive. But see, partnerships are here as well. Again, another partnership sign. But it is in communications, contracts, communications, messaging, interviews, business. That's all that third house. So hopefully this trine with the Scorpio energy that you have, with all these ladder degree things, hopefully it creates a strong enough trine for you, because you do have 26 degrees on your 11th house cusp line. You have a grand water trine at 26 degrees through that whole house. So working with groups or friends, maybe somebody gets you a job.
That's funny you said that.
Is
because the one job that I'm kind of interested in, the girl that I went to high school with works there, and she said I could use her name.
Oh. Okay, well then that looks to be the most optimistic thing because that's where you have a grand trine and Venus will be aspecting it. And you know, it supports what you just said. Third house can be coworkers, neighbors, siblings, friends, peers, especially grade school friends. That's the third house. So maybe that ends up panning out for you. That still exists, right? That trine still exists. But so do all the other squares and stress and tension that I mentioned. Like they all exist together at the same time. So we're writing on this Venus because this is your power planet. We're praying that this Venus comes through for you. So again, this won't be until mid-April that you hear, I would think, that you hear this good news, at least from how it looks from here. And hopefully it works out for you. And if it does, please come back and let us know.
Yeah, I will. I'll keep you posted. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah. And remember, Irish eyes the next time.
Yeah.
Just means to tell me it's Irish eyes when you're in the chat.
I'm sorry.
All right. No problem.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Yep. All righty. I hope her trine comes through for her, man. I mean, it can because Jupiter's going to be hitting that midheaven. And boy, we get real busy when that happens, especially with work. All of a sudden, we got work. So I just hate to give people false hope because these times, there's just not so many opportunities nowadays. And yeah, just got to keep it real. All righty. So where are we going? Let me see. Let me get this off my screen. What time is it? 11:30? Yeah, we've had a nice mellow night. This is good. I can deal with this. My eyes are like, yeah, we're good. Oh, Renee Gomez. How the hell have you been, Renee? Renee. Oh, so for whoever was just... Renee says Uber or Lyft driver would be definitely something to check out as a fill-in. Yeah, that's a good recommendation, Renee. Dragon Queen might... Okay, I already got that one. Gibson. Oh, I hope Gibson is better. Okay. A Lyft driver stole your phone? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. How funny that Lyft came up twice tonight. How weird is that? Shit. Oh, man. That is not good. Damn. Okay, Alyssa and Angelo. All right, so let me find out. Who is this? We have John D. John D. Oh, John D probably went to sleep. My bad. Yeah, John D might be asleep. John D, are you awake? If not, don't worry about it. John D's like, damn. Oh, I got Taffy knocking at the door. Oh, John D's awake. Look at that. All right, what are we checking out, John? And did you want the link? Let me, oh Lord, now she's trying to bust down the damn door. All right, let me go put this link in here so that we can get you in here. There you go, John. That's the link for you. We'll pull up your chart. Let me go let this little four-legged furry friend in the room where she's going to start some stuff. All right, let me go get this little girl. Come on. Okay, that candle is still over there. Okay, so you have to behave. All right, let me move my stuff. You come to say hello? All right, let's see what's going on here. Okay, let's see where John's up with. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Oh, can hear you loud and clear. Awesome.
Yeah,
Excellent. So what are we checking out? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Let's just look at the next week.
Okay. All right, let me get
Sounds
this
good.
going here. Let me find, yes, Taffy. I know. Oh, look at your chart came up fast. Wow, that was awesome. Oh, that's a good girl. That's a good girl. You just lay right there. Okay, I can do that. We can do that. Okay, let me switch hands around. We can, God forbid I stop moving my hands on her head. And she'll be like, you're forgetting me. Okay, let's get this chart in here. So we're looking at next week. Okie dokie. Alrighty, so here we are today. And let's move this up a week. Yeah, the beginning of April. Things are going to be different next week for everybody across the board. I mean, when we say next week, right, it's a couple days away. And so Neptune entering into Aries. Neptune enters Aries. Yeah, the Juno energy is strong. And so this is like Wednesday, just so you know. I should really look at Tuesday first, just off the bat to see this. This is the day where Venus is reborn. Like we can literally see Venus as a morning star, right? So normally when that occurs, it's like all of a sudden the beauty, the good, the equality, like some of the better traits, like things that have been missing, things have been feeling super dark and heavy and freaky and otherworldly, not in a good way, otherworldly, for a while now. Well, Venus has been invisible. And so when Venus is seen, then there's a change. The good is all of a sudden realized and we can see it and feel it. And, the creature comforts, like, hopefully, I'm praying that this is going to occur. But in your chart, you see where this Juno is. This is partnerships. And this Juno is sitting on your third house cusp line. So it's a communication, conversation, text message, email, snail mail, peers, siblings, coworkers. Third house is learning, can be teaching, but there's a partnership here. Now, Juno in Sagittarius can be about traveling as well. Maybe making travel plans, because the third house is all about the calendar, making plans. And Neptune will be talking to your third house cusp line. So that's institutional energy. It's a trine. So there's like an open communication. It should happen easily. But Neptune can be tricky. And it's going to be different because it's when Neptune goes into Aries, God, I had a couple of videos. There's like a lot of examples of how different it can look. Another example, let me say this, an example of isolation energy is institutional energy, feeling isolated, like the United States feeling isolated, right? Because the stances that it's been taking lately, other countries looking at it and being like, shit, we don't need your business that badly. Hell, we'll find somebody else. And then, so that can kind of feel that way. But it can also be partnerships. Actually, no, Neptune is going to be in your 6th house of day-to-day routines. So this can be within work and home, just whatever you're doing in the home. If you have pets that live there in the home with you, it's the health of the pets, the health of yourself. It could be restructuring, organizing, cleaning. We think of like all the Virgo stuff. So Pisces, Neptune, Pisces vibration is hope and prayer and very creative energy, sound and music even. So when you mix that with this Aries in the house of Virgo, I think our mind is activated in a new way, and it's almost like getting downloads, because you're going to have Neptune literally connecting to your mind, because your 3rd house cusp line is going to be there. Now, it's at 1 degrees is what your 3rd house cusp line is, but it is there. So I feel like as soon, like your dreams may change, what your hopes and your dreams are about the future, especially possibly things that relate to your health, or if you're working in the healthcare industry, hospitals, nursing, caregiving, that kind of stuff. And I just have to watch her because the candle's still lit and she likes to kind of be a little weird sometimes. And then Mercury's going to enter. Let me see where this is in your chart with this other stuff in fire. Okay, you don't have anything at fire at the low degrees. You have Uranus at 4, but I don't anticipate that's going to be a little bit of time, because Neptune stops at 2 degrees and then goes backwards. But when Neptune gets to that 2 degrees, you're going to want something new probably. Anyway, so until that time comes, that's a little bit ways off. A nice amount of ways off. Let me see what else is going to be happening. Okay, we got that. It's there at 3:28. Okay, that's already passed and done with. Okay, that's not going to happen for a while. All right. I see a lot of things that are going to be triggered this year, but here's the main thing too, is when that Neptune is at that 0, it's also triggering your Neptune and your 2nd house cusp line, which are at 0 degrees. So this is a quincunx energy. So it's uncomfortable. Kind of reminds me of kind of some of the stuff Christy was talking about, just her irritation that she was going through. And it's Neptune irritating Neptune. You see this? So the beliefs, my own beliefs, it can be, it's extreme kind of energy at the 0 degrees, your Scorpio energy, your 2nd house cusp line. This can be your values. It can be income. It can be, you've got that 0 degree. So it's shared values. Scorpio, shared values, but it can also be wounds. It can be vulnerabilities, self-worth and stuff. This Neptune can provide healing. You've already got it here, but this might be an additional support. I know it seems crazy to say support when we talk about irritation and agitation, but there's always like this bigger picture when we back up from it, and it's Neptune, quincunx Neptune. And I don't see another 0 in there. Okay. Yeah, so there might be something that you're going to go through that might be a little bit uncomfortable. And maybe you pay for something even because it's Scorpio energy. Maybe there's something that you pay for. The Neptune stuff, when we think of healing and we think of forgiveness and understanding and prayer, but when we think of like the state of the US right now and some of the, just the administration and some of the things that are occurring in general, some of this stuff, it can be like delusional, it can be confusing, it can be like there can be things that are wacky, because Neptune's typically, I'm under the influence of something and I'm not seeing things clearly. So this might be a little fuzzy. The values, our shared values might be a little fuzzy. But so it may have to do with the day-to-day routines at the job as well, because it's Neptune in contact with your Neptune. And I don't know if that's what you're anticipating for next week, because that definitely will be there. And at the same time, though, this Neptune is going to exactly sextile your Mercury. And again, that talks to me about learning. You have a Mercury at, is that right? 0 degrees? Yeah, you have a freaking Mercury at 0. Whoa. Okay. So it's a sextile to that. And the 0 degree, the thirst for learning, possibly teaching, publishing, because it's on the 9th house cusp line. But again, because it's all being connected by Neptune, this can feel like you're getting information or you're possibly accessing, higher knowledge, possibly, depends on how clear thinking you are in deciphering, fact from crap and, not being fooled by some of the voices within Pisces and Neptune energy. Because we get it and we hear it all. It's, we get a mixture of shit, and it's our job to be able to discern the difference. What else is happening? You're having a Mars return. That's why I wanted to see Tuesday. Okay. You're having a Mars return. Well, girl, you are definitely starting something new. You're having a Mars return. Now, because the Mars is in your 10th house, it's got to do with your plans for the future, your long-term goals. And because it's in the 10th house, maybe you're looking for a new job. But with the Mars connect, see this? Mars at 23, this is on Tuesday. Remember, that's when the Venus is reborn. And this Mars connects to your Mars. This is a new 2-year cycle for you. What's interesting is your Mars is at 24 degrees. Institutional energy. Geez. Okay. I'm just thinking the government's firing people. They're not hiring people. But when I see institutional, it doesn't have to strictly just be the government, because there's a lot of extensions. Hospitals is also 24 degrees in Pisces energy. So maybe a different institution, because look, the Saturn right here, it's trining your Mars. See this Saturn? Trining your Mars. And if it's not new, then like maybe it's the same institution, but yet a different department, or, something has changed. A goal has definitely changed. And maybe it's not necessarily your goal, because this Saturn would be a boss. And so it trines your Mars. Maybe you become the boss. Did I already say all this? Did I say this the last time you were on the live stream? This all seems really familiar.
Well, when you did my chart, it does sound familiar. And
Okay.
Monday I've got to go to the vet with one of my dogs.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that never, I don't know. I'm going because I was looking for a diagnosis, but they never have one. It's a practice.
Yeah.
And I'm a little concerned about that, but the medicine seems to be working, just not well enough.
Okay.
So that means it could reoccur. It's his eye. And I've already got one that
this is all
is
Neptune.
blind.
It's the eyes. It's
Yeah.
Neptune. Neptune, quincunx Neptune. The pets. The pet. Oh, damn. Well.
And work, I'm always getting drug into something. And I am starting something new and studying, so you nailed it.
Well, that's good. I'm just trying to see. So this Neptune is going to trine your third house. I know it does this quincunx here, but on this, it's not as tight of a trine, of course, as the 0 and 0. Next week it's, but you have two objects there. So it might be good news. It might be beneficial. Like when you go to the vet, you're uneasy about it. So we see that, the Neptune's going to be the quincunx to the Neptune. It's more like you said, they're never that helpful. Maybe that's the wrong words. Maybe those weren't your exact words, but it almost sounded like you wanted to say it.
Right.
Say that again?
That's right. They're really
okay.
Yeah.
Well, this Neptune trining this, hopefully this means, things are on the right path. Like the medicine that you're using is hopefully, I don't know, maybe they'll say, well, how has the dog been responding? Is there any side effects? Is there any negative? And if not, then, I don't know if the medicine actually takes care of it or just gets rid of the symptoms, right?
Yeah, exactly. And, there's a growth on top of his eye, and it's not bothering him. It has nothing to do with what's happening with his eye being red. But, she wants to remove it. And I'm like, man, they'll do anything to get money.
Well, this is true. This is true.
So, I just would like the eye not to be red. Like, what is causing that? Why is, but, that's the way it goes. I'll get frustrated.
Is Haffer still here? I don't know how it works with animals, but Haffer's had some major eye stuff. And I think he's had really good success. And he's all about alternative. He's big time using alternative stuff to heal his eye stuff. I'm not sure how that works with pets, though. Do you know what I'm saying? I know there are some alternative things that you shouldn't use with pets that can be bad for pets. But have you researched that aspect of it, like herbal remedies or anything that are good for pets with eyes?
Well, I've got him on the eye support, but it doesn't seem to be effective. I'm gonna have to look into it more because I'm just not getting those warm fuzzies that this is gonna go well. But I'll go tomorrow, but I don't know that I'll be letting her do surgery. Plus,
well, I wouldn't rush into the surgery. Take your time on that. I would take my I would take my time on that.
Oh yeah, and I gotta pay Uncle Sam all that good old tax money.
So. Well, that's Neptune and Scorpio taxes, absolutely.
So
that's.
There won't be any surgery unless it's an emergency. I'll just say that.
Well, that's kind of the way it's supposed to be, though, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Like I know
we want to do what's best for our animals, but like you said, they are quite quick to cut and to prescribe. That's just the reality. Unless you find like a doctor who's got like this super old soul, where they're like, well, let's try some of the common sense things first, but those are hard to find.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's for an animal or a person.
Yeah. I can't wait for the day for that to kind of change around and for the good old common sense Virgo stuff to be like, okay, we're going to try this first. Hello? Before anybody mentions drugs or cutting, like, yeah, we're going to try this first. So you're not at the point where you're afraid of like going into the vet, and because you have the say to say no to a surgery.
That's right.
So it's just you saying, well, I will say here though, on this day, what time is the appointment at?
3:30.
And it's on Monday at 3:30?
Yeah.
Let me go take a peek at the time. Because 3:30, I'm going backwards. It's 3:30, not 10:30. And you're ahead of me, right? You're like an hour ahead of me?
Yeah, Eastern, yep.
All right, so let me go backwards an hour. All right. Yeah, okay. So the sun is going to be on your vertex point that day. At that time, actually. And so, oh, you have Humea. Oh, interesting. So you're going to get a health report card. Okay, this makes sense. Health report card in partnership. So this little one is close to you, no? This furry friend is close to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because this shows up as a partner in your chart, which is fine. But the vertex point is here. So medicine, because it's 12 degrees, more drugs. But it's 11 and 12 degrees mixed together here, actually. Wow. Okay. And then the transiting vertex in the skies in the 6th house of the pet, conjunct Mercury. Wow. Okay. So well, all you can do is go in there and see what they say. But the moon is at 22 in Taurus on that day. Okay, so the moon's going to be conjunct Uranus at this time. See this? I don't know if you can see it or if you want to see it, but yeah, the moon is emotions and feelings. Conjunct Uranus is something different, new, disruptive. So knowing that ahead of time will kind of help you to prepare yourself to be like, you know, you're the boss. You do what you want to do. But having that there, I don't think that you even have anything at the 24, but you do have Nessa at 23. Okay. Well, then you might kind of just already feel, because there's history here with this, right? There's history here. You got a lot of Taurus in the 8th. So there's a lot of history of the wounds, and especially the drugs and the medicine history too, because it's Uranus, and that is, that's technology and experimenting, and because it's kind of in a way what it is though, right? When they're administering the drugs and be like, well, here, try this, and well, we'll try a surgery and see how that works. So you mean you're conducting a goddamn experiment, right? That's how I see it. Where I'm just like, you can go experiment on someone else. What the hell? I will go it alone until I have no other option. So this, you definitely might hear them say, well, let's try a surgery. But I wouldn't be too concerned about it because you have the say. You have the say.
Absolutely.
And your dog is fine.
It's not bothering him, it's bothering me.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, something is wrong.
There
I
might
don't know
be
what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I had a friend who had a big old a big Rottweiler, and he had, how sometimes you see those Rottweilers where they get, actually, wasn't he a Rottweiler? I can't even remember. Yeah, he was a Rottweiler, and they would have like those red, like you could see like, I don't know, you could see like their lower eyelids and they would be all red. And he had that. And they told her that he also had like, there was like a growth that was there as well. And that the growth was irritating the dog and this and that and whatever. And so they also recommended to have it surgically removed. But then another vet was like, but it doesn't have to be removed. It's not like a danger to keep it there. It's not doing any damage. So I don't know if it's, maybe you might hear something similar. Who the hell knows? But, I think that, as long as you have your own priorities straight, I think you'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know what you want to do. And And then just see if there's any other, like I said, natural remedies, because there might be something in the home. There might be a chemical in the home. There might be something that's irritating the animal's eyes. Right?
I don't
It could
use
be
a
an
lot of
allergy to the
chemicals.
food.
I don't know.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, it's better than putting them under the knife just to figure out why they're, and then giving them meds.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
All right. Well, if that
All
was
right.
your only thing, then you're good to go.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Take care.
Have a
Okay.
good
Thank
one.
you. All right. You too. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you see Taffy. She's laid out now. Okay. I'm sorry I woke you up. I shouldn't have woke the beast up. Did I wake the beast up? I didn't know you were sleeping. No, you're fine. Just stay right there. That's perfect. Aries surgery. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point, Mars. Yeah. Mars rules Aries. And yeah, you see I already took her chart down, but yeah, she had Mars, conjunct Mars in her chart. In her 10th house, she's starting a new cycle, new goal. Taffy, we can see you. Oh, look. There's a recommendation. Amy Brown said, try vitamin E. I heard the vet say to use it. Look at that. Did you see? Vitamin E. Yeah, I knew there was something. I heard somebody, maybe you had said it. I don't know who. Probably Haffers. Haffers was probably, he's already gone for the evening. I thought I saw his name earlier. Vitamin E for the dog's eyes. Give it in the food. Oh, there you go. Do you see that? John D., do you see that? That's easy. That's an easy fix. And Stacy says for their meds, if any of their medication that has whatever it is that is in neosporin, it can increase redness. Oh. Yeah, I'll be all over that vitamin E thing. That would be an easy fix. If it works, that'd be great. What? Awesome, Ellis. Holy crap. Awesome, Ellis, Renee. Wow, a lot of oldies coming in here tonight. I haven't seen a couple of you guys in a long time. We have a nice slow night tonight. Woo. I'm all right by you. All right, it's 11:59. Dang. John, we got you in just in time. So vitamin E, give it a try and let us know. I did that with me when I had eye surgery. Yeah, that makes sense. I just wasn't sure about the animals, like, but she said her vet. I heard the vet say to use it. That's so great that a vet suggested that. Now that's a vet you want, right? Instead of drugs and surgery. Holy shit, let's try the common sense shit first, right? Renee, how the hell have you been? Is she still here? Oh yeah, it's always connecting to the Scorpio and that freaking Pisces energy, man. It doesn't have the choice. It just flows right to it. Neptune, we've had a lot of fog advisories. Oh God, yeah. Yeah, we've had the last time, I don't know, it just seems like it's been great for a while lately. A couple weeks ago we had like a full week of sunshine, and now it's just, I think it's just been all gray, and we just had rain the last couple of days. But I think we're supposed to have a really bad storm tomorrow morning, if I'm not wrong. If I'm not mistaken. How does that feel, Taffy? Taffy. All right. Okay, so I think we're done for the night. It's midnight. Yes, John, keep us posted how that works out. Oh. You know what I also heard, and I'm not saying this is for pets. I also heard for the eyes, maybe Haffer said this because he was, at one time he was saying to use cayenne pepper. And I was like, dude, I don't know about all that. Yeah, it just doesn't even make sense. But then somebody also said, oh my God, I can't think of it. It's that oil that really like thick castor oil. Thank you. You got it. It's castor oil. It's castor oil. You can actually put that right in the eye. Yeah. Now, again, I don't know if it's for pets, but they say that the castor oil will break up any growth or any funky shit. Yep. Thank you. You got it, Murphy. Yep. You got it. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yep. They say it'll break it up. Anything that isn't supposed to be there, it'll break it up. It takes time. It's not an immediate thing. But in case there is something there for him that's irritating. Yes, definitely keep us posted. All right, so we're ending. We will be back next week, same time, 9:30, Saturday. Every Saturday we're here. Yeah, I know, right? I'm almost positive because I was shocked. I was like, am I reading that shit? That can't be right. I got to be reading that wrong. And I could have swore. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was cayenne, like castor oil. I mean, maybe it was the other C. Who the hell knows? I just remember being like, I remember saying to him, don't put that in your eyes. Please don't do that. Because I was just like, who the hell told him to do that? But then a week later, he came back and he was like castor oil. And I was like, okay, that makes more sense. Yeah. All right. So for anybody who wants to have their chart read, you come back next week. I'm here. And you get your digits to me. Send them to the email that is down below in the details under the live stream. You can email them to me privately at the email there. And then I can create your chart. And the chart will be, you got to remember what name I put the chart under so I can pull it up. Get your chart read. If you want me to spend time on your chart, then you gift the channel. And those people who have gifted the channel, and thank you for all of you who sent money before the live stream tonight. I spend more time on your chart. That's the reason. But yeah, I can look at everybody and anybody's chart. And just so as a little reminder, in the beginning of the live stream, we mentioned that we're going to, I'm thinking of implementing where 3 live streams a month will be as they have normally been here on YouTube. And then the 4th one, like the 4th Saturday of the month type of thing, would be a private live, meaning it will not be on YouTube. It would be something you have to actually sign up for. There would be limited availabilities to that private live. So if you're interested in something like that, send me an email. Let me know what you think. And we'll go from there. All right. So with that said, we're out of here. Taffy said she's done. She wants to climb into her bed with the lights off. Right, Taff? Right? Yeah, say I want to go to bed. Okay, she's getting up. All right, we're ending. All right, everybody. Thank you, everybody who participated. And thank you, Stacy, for taking care of the chat. I appreciate it. All right, guys. See you next week. Take care.